Hi again, Gregg Bell, the News Tribune, here on day 13 of the Seahawks training camp. A lot of news today, most of it dominated by Michael Bennett's ongoing protest, plans to continue his protest during national anthems on Friday's exhibition game against Minnesota at CenturyLink Field. Pete Carroll saying after practice today he wasn't sure and hadn't spoken to Bennett on whether he would continue his protest or not. I should say he didn't know if he would continue. He did speak to Bennett. He said at length a couple times about the issue. Carroll's in a balancing act here. He says that he supports Bennett's cause and what the protest is representing, and that's better treatment of minorities in this country. But the coach said that he thinks everybody should stand for the anthem, that anytime you're representing the flag and the country in such a public way, that everybody should stand. So it's a personal balancing act for Carroll, and I asked him, well, you're the head coach, you could insist and force Bennett to stand like every other of the 90 players on the Seahawks this preseason. He gave a murky answer to that, saying that they were a united team, that anything they do would be united, and that we'll see going forward. Suffice to say that between what Carroll had to say and what Doug Baldwin had to say, which was that he's considering joining Bennett's protest and that he also supports the cause and thinks that it's everyone's right as having freedom of speech to not stand for the anthem. Between all of that and the fact Jeremy Lane told me that he may or may not join Bennett's protest. Of course, you remember Lane sat last year during the summer in the preseason finale at Oakland right after Colin Kaepernick began kneeling in protest during the anthem. All of this suggests that what happens Friday before the Seahawks play the Vikings in their home game may not be exactly the same as what happened in Carson, California on Sunday when it was just Bennett alone. We'll see. As for what's on the field, it was noticeable to me who wasn't on it. KJ Wright, Pro Bowl outside linebacker, not here, and in fact he's away from the team. Pete Carroll saying after practice that Wright has gone out of town is what he said, to work on treatment for his knee. It's a process, Carroll said. I asked him if it was surgery, and he said no, but a process to treat an ongoing nagging knee injury. Now, immediately I thought of, and I'm sure you'll think of, Sidney Rice in 2013 disappearing from training camp at the beginning of August, and he ended up in Switzerland to do knee treatment. It was platelet-rich, plasma-rich platelet, say that 10 times, plasma-rich platelet replacement, spinning in a centrifuge of blood to make the blood rich with platelets for accelerating healing. No word on whether that's what Bennett's doing or Wright is doing or not. Carroll just said this week Wright was away, suggesting that it's a short-term absence and not a big deal, not a long-term thing. Wright played 13 snaps in the opener on Sunday, so it was somewhat a surprise that he's now away from the team. Terrence Garvin was playing the weak side linebacker for Wright today during team scrimmaging. Also during team scrimmaging, another day, another setup on the starting offensive line. This time it was Mark Lewinsky at right guard. Oday Abushi had started at right guard against the Chargers Sunday. Everything else on the line was the same. Fant was at left tackle. Luke Jokel was at left guard. Justin Britt again at center. Jermaine Ifedi again at right tackle. Right behind Ifedi at right tackle again was Ethan Posick, but today was the first time that Posick played right guard during team scrimmaging. Of course, he can also play center because he did that primarily at LSU, so we're starting to see the versatility, the reason why the Seahawks picked Posick in the second round. Jeremy Lane did come back to practice, but only in position drills. That meant he watched team drills, not yet fully back. Lane said he's going to play on Friday, and Carroll thinks he's going to be able to play. Lane said he had a groin strain. That's what kept him out of practice for a week plus, but that he could have played Sunday if it was a real game. Last Sunday against the Chargers had it been a real game. When Lane was watching drills, the team scrimmaging, Shaquille Griffin was again the starting right corner. DeAndre Elliott was again the nickelback. Other items from practice, Doug Baldwin was back. He said he also could have played against the Chargers had that been a real game. Strained foot when KJ Wright grabbed him after a catch on Thursday. Baldwin was back in the offense doing full go. Tyler Lockett was back from injury. So the Seahawks got some good injury news. The best being Paul Richardson was on the field, which surprised everyone, including Carroll. Richardson, of course, sprained his right shoulder, an AC joint sprain, according to Carroll after the game in California against the Chargers. making a catch. Carroll talked how it was going to be weeks and it was a legitimate injury and there was doubt whether Richardson would even be ready for the regular season. Carroll's saying now that Richardson surprised everyone by being back on the field. There's no doubt, definitely in the coach's words, that Richardson will be able to play against the Packers in that opener September 10th. Of course, this is a contract year, the final year of Richardson's contract. That might have something to do with the fact that the off-injured receiver is back on the field, not wanting this shoulder injury to be the latest in a long line of injuries. Lots to cover. All week I'll be here. Another practice tomorrow for the Seahawks, technically the last one of their training camp, though the preseason will continue with 2 more games after this one. I'll have a light walkthrough Thursday here, and then Friday evening at CenturyLink Fields, as I said, the second exhibition game against the Minnesota Vikings. Thanks for watching.